I'm about to reveal a very specific law, one that's rarely talked about, but absolutely critical if you want to manifest anything in your life. And most people break it without even realizing. It's the reason so many desires die quietly before they ever come true. And here's the kicker. No one's going to warn you about it. Why? Because keeping this one law is all about what you don't say. If you've ever felt stuck, frustrated, or like your manifestations just vanish into thin air, you need to hear this. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes you're going to understand why Neville called this the first law. Let's get into it. First, let me ask you something. How many times have you gotten excited about a goal, a dream, and the first thing you did was tell someone? Maybe it was a friend, a partner, someone close. And what happened? They smiled, maybe gave you a polite, "That's great." Or worse, they doubted you, questioned you, and suddenly your energy dropped. Sound familiar? That moment right there is when most manifestations fall apart. Not because the dream was wrong, not because you didn't believe, but because you shared it too early. Here's the law Neville Goddard taught, and most people skip right past it. Secrecy is the first law to be observed in realizing your desire. Not action, not affirmations, not scripting, not vision boards, secrecy, silence. Because when you speak your desire out loud, especially before it's fully alive in your imagination, you're not just sharing it, you're exposing it, you're pulling it out of the ground too early, before it's had time to take root. Think of it like this. Imagine planting a seed in your backyard. Every day you dig it up just to check if it's growing. You show your friends, "Hey, look what I planted." They poke at it, touch it, shrug. Doesn't look like much. So you cover it back up and hope it still grows, but it won't. Because you disturbed the process. It needed time, darkness, quiet, just like your desires do. When you speak too soon, you're often looking for encouragement. But what you get instead is logic, skepticism, caution. Are you sure? That's kind of risky. What if it doesn't happen? And suddenly, you're not so sure anymore. The vision that once felt so alive, so certain in your mind, now feels fragile, wobbly, like it's slipping. Let me reveal something strange to you, and it's something almost no one talks about. When you share your desire with someone too early, you're not just letting words out, you're allowing something in. You permit an exchange to take place, an invisible one, the exchange of fear. Neville said it clearly. Do not discuss your ambitions or desires with another, for the other will only echo your present fears. And he meant that literally. Whatever doubts still exist in you, even small ones, they'll come right back at you in the voice of someone else. It's like standing in front of a mirror you didn't realize was there. You speak your desire, and the person in front of you reflects the exact part of you that still isn't sure. They say things like, "But what if it doesn't work? What if you're disappointed?" Is that even realistic? And that's the part that stings, not because they're being mean, but because deep down, a small part of you already feared that. You just hadn't said it out loud yet. So what do? How do you protect your desire when the world around you is loud, and your inner state still feels delicate? Because let's be honest, you want to believe in it. You want to hold the vision, but the moment you share it, something shifts. So what's the way forward? I'm about to walk you through it now, so your maximum attention is required at this stage. Seriously, lean in, turn everything else down, because what I'm about to share is what separates the people who imagine and see results from the ones who just stay stuck in endless wishing. Let's get into it. Step 1. Shut the door. Neville often quoted the Bible, and there's one line that holds more power than people realize. It says, "When you pray, go into your room and shut the door." Now, let's stop right there, because this isn't just about closing a door in your house. That door is symbolic. It means shut out the world, shut out the noise, shut out the doubts, the opinions, the overthinking. This is about entering your inner chamber, the part of you where imagination begins, where creation happens. And when you step into that sacred space, you're not supposed to bring anyone else with you. No validation, no explanation, no sharing. Why? Because every desire starts out soft, like a flicker of flame. And if you expose it too early, it can be blown out in an instant. You talk about your goal, hoping for encouragement, but you get hesitation. You explain your dream, and someone says, "Really? You think that's possible?" And suddenly, you're questioning it too, so you shut the door. You keep your desire private. You hold it close like something sacred. You don't need to announce it, prove it, or defend it. You let it build in silence. Think of it like lighting a candle in the middle of a storm. You wouldn't wave it around. You'd cup your hands over it. You'd protect that flame because you know it needs time to catch and grow strong. It's the same with your vision. You don't owe anyone a preview of the life you're building. So, shut the door. Enter the silence. Let the world wait. Because the moment you stop explaining yourself is the moment you start creating with power. Step 2. Assume it's done in silence. Once the desire is born in you, your only job is to become it inwardly. Neville said, "Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled." That means you don't wait for the thing to happen in the outer world. You don't chase it. You step into the version of you who already has it right now in imagination. You don't need proof. You don't need to know how it'll happen. You don't even need to tell anyone what it is. Why? Because manifestation doesn't start with action. It starts with identity. And identity is built in silence. You go within and feel the tones of reality as if it's already done. You wear the state like a second skin. You wake up in it. You fall asleep in it. And here's the key most people miss. You don't talk about it while it's still growing inside you. You don't explain it. You don't hint at it. You don't open that sacred space just to be understood because it's not ready to be shared. Think of it like a seed you've just planted. The moment you speak about it too early, it's like digging it up just to see if it's growing. Every time you say, "I'm working on something," or "I'm hoping this will happen," you're pulling energy away from the inner assumption and placing it back into uncertainty. You're going from "it is done" to "I hope it works," and your subconscious is always listening. So what do you do instead? You assume it's already yours, and you seal it in silence. You let it root. You let it take shape behind the scenes. You keep showing up in that new version of you without broadcasting it. The outside world doesn't need to know what you're creating. Let them find out when it's already real, when your state has fully embodied the end result, and the world simply mirrors it back. Because when you assume it in silence, you give your desire the one thing it needs most to grow: unshakable belief, untouched by the noise of the world. Step 3. Reveal through results, not words. This is the part everyone wants, the part they think they need to chase, prove, explain. But you don't need to announce anything. When it manifests, the world will see it. You won't have to justify it. You won't need to tell them, "I've been working on this," or "I tried this technique," or "I've visualized it for 21 days straight." None of that. You'll just exist in the result. And that will speak louder than anything you could have ever said, because when your state changes, your world changes. And when it does, people notice. They start to ask questions. They start to wonder, "How did you do that? When did that happen? What changed?" But you won't feel the need to explain every detail. Why? Because the real power didn't come from what you did. It came from what you didn't do. You didn't beg. You didn't overshare. You didn't look for validation. You kept it sacred. You kept it quiet. And you kept the faith. That silence became a container. It protected the state long enough for it to become natural. And by the time it showed up in the physical world, You weren't surprised. You were ready. You didn't hope anymore. You simply were. That's the kind of quiet power most people will never understand because they're too busy trying to be seen instead of becoming. So let them talk. Let them guess. Let them project. You stay still. You stay in your state. And when the results come, as they always do, let those results speak on your behalf. Because silence never needed to explain itself. It just needed to be trusted. If this hits something inside you, comment below, "I protect my vision." That's it. A quiet agreement between you and your future. If you're tired of shallow techniques and ready to master the inner laws that shape everything, subscribe, turn on the bell, and return here when you need to be reminded. You don't need to tell people what you know. Just become it, in silence, and let the world adjust accordingly.